Let's jump right into this explainer and tackle a pretty fascinating medical coding challenge together. Today, we're looking at a scenario that honestly trips up a lot of folks. It's all about precision, right? Paying super close attention to the details and knowing exactly how to navigate those tricky descriptors in your coding manual. So, let's just roll up our sleeves and break down these complex procedural descriptions into some bite-sized clues.
So here is the exact scenario, pulled straight from our source material. We need to find the correct code for imaging the thoracic aorta, and this is a big but, the key detail here is that the imaging is performed using multiple frames, almost like a movie. And we're given a few potential options: 75600, 75605, 75625, or 75630. Now, I know when you're staring at a list of codes like this, they can kind of all start to blur together. But the absolute secret to nailing this every single time, you've got to isolate the variables. In this case, we have two main ones: the specific anatomy being imaged and the specific imaging technique they're actually using.
Section 1, Decoding Anatomy and Finding True North.
Okay, looking here on the left, we see codes for the thoracic aorta. That's the section of the main artery that runs straight down through the chest cavity. On the right, we've got the abdominal aorta running down through the belly. Now, the rationale explicitly defines code 75625 specifically for the abdominal region. And because these two areas require entirely different catheter paths, different imaging focuses, and obviously different clinical risk assessments, getting that surgical anatomy right is our absolute first filter. Since our scenario is intensely focused on the thoracic aorta, we can immediately, just right off the bat, cross out 75625. See that? Just by locking in the anatomy, we've already successfully narrowed down the field.
Section 2, the imaging technique, single versus multiple.
All right, our source rationale defines a completely crucial term here that you absolutely must commit to memory: serialography. It's a big word, but think of it kind of like a flipbook or holding down the burst mode on your smartphone camera. It simply means capturing multiple sequential images to create a dynamic, moving view of the blood flow, which, if you remember, is exactly what our initial challenge described. When a physician is taking those rapid-fire images rather than just snapping a single static picture, they are performing serialography.
Now check out how the rationale clearly splits our remaining options based purely on this technical definition. Over on the left, code 75605 utilizes that multiple frame serial osteography we literally just talked about. But on the right, code 75600 is strictly for a single-shot thoracic aortogram without any seriography. It's just a static image, a total one-and-done shot. This distinction right here, this is the absolute linchpin of our entire coding scenario.
Section 3, the final verdict and isolating those variables.
So let's just quickly recap the logic flow we just built together. Step 1, the scenario explicitly requires the thoracic aorta. Step 2, that immediately eliminates code 75625 because, as we established, that's for the abdominal aorta. Moving to step 3, the scenario requires multiple frames, which we now know is officially called serialography. And finally, step 4, that eliminates code 75600 because the rationale plainly tells us that code is exclusively for a single-shot study. By simply using a logical process of elimination right from our source rationale, we drop the abdominal code and we drop the single-shot code. And therefore, the correctly assigned code for thoracic aortography by serialography is 75605. You see, getting to this answer really wasn't about guessing at all. It was about systematically applying the strict rules from the source material. We isolated the anatomy, we isolated the specific technique, and boom, the correct code just perfectly reveals itself. It's like a giant puzzle, and we just found the final piece.
Hey, if you found this breakdown helpful today and it made navigating these intense coding guidelines even just a little bit easier for you, please go ahead and like this explainer and subscribe to my YouTube channel. We do this literally every single day, taking dense, complicated guidelines and turning them into clear, visual steps. So make sure you're subscribed so you never miss out on our daily coding updates.
Right before we wrap up today, I really want to hear from you. Drop a comment down below and let me know which tricky coding topic we should demystify in our very next explainer. And actually, I'm going to leave you with this final, somewhat provocative thought. Considering how completely a simple little phrase like single shot versus multiple frames alters the entire code we select here, where else in your coding manuals are you potentially glossing over a tiny technical keyword that could, completely change the anatomy of your claim? Keep your eyes peeled, stay curious, and I'll catch you in the next explainer